Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about the primary differences between single-hand heavy club training and two-hand heavy club training. Short answer, the primary difference is the amount of rotation in the beginning. Single-arm club requires less rotation in the beginning. Two-handed club requires more rotation in the beginning. Long answer. Single arm club is very important because it makes sure that you're balancing equally both sides of your body. Two-handed club training, because you can have two hands on the club, your dominant hand will do more work and your bottom hand will try to do less work. Even if it's 51%, 49%, that's bad in the long run. Single arm club training forces people to be equally strong and coordinated on both sides of their body. And that is very, very good because being equally strong on both sides of your body drastically reduces your potential for injury, lowers the overall amount of pain that your body is in as you get older or as you do stupid athletic things. And lower pain equals higher quality of life. Simple way to think about it. In the beginning, single arm club training looks a lot just like shoulder training. Moving inside, you will notice our inside circle moving towards our center line, catches, rotates towards the center line. As we do our outside circle, we catch, we rotate out. You will notice those two movements look exactly like the banded movements that you would do in rehab after you had a shoulder injury. The difference is here we're doing it in a real way and we're making sure that both shoulders function equally. 60% of the gym-going population of North America, I think, the male population has shoulder injuries right here. So this should absolutely be part of everybody's program. I don't care if you're an athlete or a stay-at-home mom or a retiree. Doesn't matter. This absolutely should be in there because it is doing prehab for your shoulders every single time you do it. And good, healthy shoulders equals a good life. In the beginning, less rotation. As it gets heavier and heavier, you're going to rotate more and more and more. Our single arm club program is primarily focused on getting people towards mills and reverse mills. Mills being going towards your center line, casting pattern, and reverse mills moving away from our center line. These are both very important patterns. You cannot just focus on mills. You have to do mills and reverse mills. The goal is to get people to 10 sets of 10 left, 10 right without putting the weight down. Do 10 on one hand, change, do 10 on the other hand, do 10 total sets. Should take 7 minutes, 30 seconds, and then take a break and then get to reverse mills. Those are our primary goals. Absolute minimum, everybody on the planet should be able to do. Women should be able to do that with 10 pounds. Absolute minimum, every man on the planet should be able to do that with 15 pounds. Just that alone would solve a large portion of the world's problems, I think. These are not the end point. Women should be able to push this probably into single arm 20 to 25, depending on frame size. There's a great variability in the frame size skeletal structure of females on the planet across populations. So think about anywhere from, say, 17.5 for the ultra small to 25 pounds for the, larger bodied. Men should be able to push this into the probably 35, 40 pound range. I say 40 pounds now because we have 8X adjustable clubs. 8X clubs change weight. So we used to not say that because the weights weren't available, but now that the weights have become more available and the training is more thoroughly understood, men should be able to do that with 40 pounds. So think beginning, women 10, men 15, intermediate, women 15, men 25, advanced where everybody should be getting to because it is all of our jobs to not be an amateur in aspects of physical education. I think I said that right. Some men will probably be able to push that even further, 45 to 50 pounds for single arm, but that does take several years. You're thinking 4 years for that type of goal. Our two-handed club goals focus on making people rotate more in the beginning. With single arm club training, people will use their dominant hand and they will rotate inside the easiest, but there are 4 rotations. Inside, outside, inside, outside. Those are 4 different paths in the brain. Most people do one of them well, dominant hand inside, because that's the dominant throwing pattern in most sports. People will not be good, especially at that non-dominant inside. And so the two-handed club program focuses on more rotation in the beginning, and that preps people to eventually go up in weight with the single hand. When you do your two-handed club program, you have top hand, bottom hand, and you have to rotate. The goal is for both arms to be straight. If one arm is bent, the bottom hand is always the one that you're looking at. If the bottom arm has a bent elbow instead of a straight elbow, you are not rotating all the way. The two-handed club program sets our base minimum rotation for everything else that we need to accomplish in training to get out of pain and to add athleticism to our life. The goals are pretty much the same. Mills and reverse mills, but with 2 hands. In the beginning, you can get away with less rotation and more shoulder. Not true with the two-handed club program. When you run a two-handed club program, you will be forced to rotate both directions pretty far, a lot farther than this program will push you for about 18 months. That just overall generally helps with every other type of athletic training. Rotation is the primary way to generate power in athletics, but it's very often overlooked. Throwing a baseball is rotation, throwing a football is rotation, throwing a punch is rotation, throwing a kick, rotation, tornado kicks, tons of rotation. Jiu-jitsu, rotation, wrestling, rotation, tennis, rotation. The primary stuff that you do in conventional training is not rotation. The big 3 exercises that people do in gyms are deadlift, no rotation, back squat, no rotation, bench, no rotation. Rotation is very often left out, and people are left wondering why they have a lot of injuries. You can combine any type of conventional training with single arm club and two-handed club training and get just tons out of it, tons out of it. You can add either of these 2 things, or preferably both of them, to any other type of training, and it will all get better over time because you are working on your primary human movements. With that two-handed club training, the goal is mills and the goal is reverse mills, and focus on the same kind of idea, 10 sets of 10 and 10 minimum. There's a lot of ways to get there. One of the primary programs we have out now is a short two-handed club program. It is the Strong and Fit Introduction to Heavy Club Swinging, called the Mill Squat program, because it focuses on mills, inside circles, outside circles, shield cast, mills, and then combining all of those things with squats. Just absolutely basic, 15 total moves shoved into 3 levels of programming. There is a much, much larger version of two-handed club training. The big version of the program is 7 levels and 8 exercises, 56 total movements instead of 15 with the short program. But think about, we're trying to add weight with this program. This is the simplest possible way to add athleticism to absolutely anybody on the planet, regardless of age, regardless of sex. It's the easiest possible way. Men should be shooting for two-handed club training with a 50-pound club. Women should be shooting for 20 to 25 pounds. If they are of a larger frame size or they have greater athletic need, they could push it to 30. Most women don't want to push the weight up on these programs that much. They would prefer to add complexity or add time under tension. The primary program that we have out, the Strong and Fit one, is 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. That's a general one for absolutely everybody. You can tailor that program for more hypertrophy for gentlemen pretty easily. All you really got to do is go up and wait till you get to the 50. You'll probably add 15 pounds of muscle on accident. Women have different biology, so they tend not to add the weight. They just get stronger and denser. But female athletes tend to like to add more complexity to the program over time. Let's bring it back to the main point here. The difference is rotation. Less rotation in the beginning, more rotation in the beginning. Two-handed club training sets your overall minimum athletic amount of rotation that you need regardless of age, regardless of what you do, whether you're an athlete or a carpenter or stay-at-home mom. It doesn't matter. This program sets the rotation that you need to be pain-free so that you can have a higher quality of life. This one balances out left and right side of the body. Two slightly separate ideas that are two very different types of training, but you should do both of them at some point in your life. And you should probably always keep one of these in your training. You could dump one of them for a specific amount of time and do some other type of training, but leaving in one of these two ideas at 2 times a week forever is a really, really, really good idea.